What's up, everybody watching on their computer, smartphone, tablet, or TV? This is Andy, and tonight, February 17th, besides the NBA All-Star Game, will be, of course, the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view streaming live on the WWE Network, which will be taking place at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, with the pre-show scheduled to start sometime around 6 o'clock Eastern, and, of course, the main show starting at 7 o'clock Eastern, once again live on the WWE Network. Now quickly, I want to apologize to the OWN Wrestling News page on Facebook. They normally expect me to post the prediction video on Saturday, but due to the fact that I wanted to change up the content this week because of course it was the pretty much it was a showcase day for the NBA, of course. I wanted to have a little bit of fun with that three-point contest video. We did one last year, so we're doing it again this year. I was like, you know what? Sunday's just easier to post the video. So here we are on the actual day of the pay-per-view. So right now we have 7 matches listed on the card as we speak. I don't really want to do cruiserweights because, again, I'm not... Unless it involved Leo Rush, then maybe I would care, because remember, he is the showman to Bobby Lashley, but, like, you know what? I don't really care at this point. Just predict the 6 other matches. So, I have organized the card into the following. So, first up, I'm going to predict the no disqualification match with Braun Strowman taking on Baron Corbin. And honestly, if Strowman loses this match, I would be surprised. I mean, it is no DQ. Maybe there's a spot that McIntyre comes out, but then again, I still have the theory that Cena might want to beg for a WrestleMania match to face McIntyre. Because, again, I was keeping a theory that McIntyre would face Cena at Mania, but in order for that to happen, Strowman and Corbin. Strowman has to win, and I think I'm going with this theory that Corbin might actually win the Andre Battle Royal. He could win it. So, for that, let's just say for now, Strowman wins this, only to strengthenize Baron Corbin's chances of victory at the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial Rumble at WrestleMania 35. I'm just going to keep the theory at the moment. So the rest of the card, you're going to have championship matches. A lot of them are championship matches, to be very clear. I can confirm on this card, again, even though we have 7 matches, R-Truth is not defending the United States Championship. I thought that maybe they would do something on SmackDown, but I guess not. They're probably going to wait till after the Chamber. And hopefully R-Truth will defend the belt at Fastlane. If he doesn't, something is just wrong. But yeah, no R-Truth, no Asuka. I honestly was hoping Asuka would face Zelina Vega, but yeah, very disappointed. I was hoping that maybe Zelina Vega would say, "This is my time, I want to push." Well, I don't know. We don't even know who Asuka's going to be facing at WrestleMania 35. Yet alone the fact that in the past week in the women's division, Becky Lynch was suspended from WWE, and yet, right now, listed for WrestleMania 35, which is insane to even talk about at the moment, which I'm just still beyond shocked that this is taking place, that they put Charlotte Flair to face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35. So I'm still annoyed that this women's division in the past week's becoming a big headache. But we do have Ronda Rousey defending her belt against Ruby Riott. Once again, another botch match for Riott. Why am I not surprised? Maybe something good will happen the Raw after the pay-per-view. Or, who knows, maybe there's a spot that Becky comes out and begs Vince McMahon to lift the suspension or something. I don't know. But again, Ronda's going to defend. Once again, this is going to be a joke that Ronda has to defend this belt at a pay-per-view that honestly she shouldn't even be defending the belt at. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's just so dysfunctional. You really can't at the moment. Now we're going to go to Intercontinental match Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush will be in a handicap match taking on Finn Balor. So, once again, it is for Bob's Intercontinental Championship. Now, let's look at the stats on Mr. Bobby Lashley. He is right now 42 years old, 6'3". You, of course, have Mr. Lio Rush, who, again, is a showman to Bobby Lashley. Lio Rush, height-wise, if I can find his height, 5'6". And, of course, with Finn Balor's height, I'm only looking at this from the height at the moment, 5'11". So this is a little lopsided match, but I don't know. Are they really going to botch Balor again? Because it seems these days, this is how the McMahons view Balor these days. They don't want him to get another championship. They didn't want Vin to beat Lesnar at Mania. So, again, I'm happy Rollins is hopefully going to slay Lesnar, because if he doesn't, I'll be shocked that doesn't happen. But I'm going to be honest. I want to see Finn with the face paint. And, with the face paint, it would just be too shocking for Lashley and Lio. Especially Lio being all cowardly, like, So, I'm going to keep a theory here. Face paint or not, that Finn walks into the Elimination Chamber in a handicap match and hopefully will become your new Intercontinental Champion. And hopefully, I'll keep this theory that Finn is going to defend the belt at WrestleMania 35. Now, on to the tag team match in the SmackDown division. Now, I'll quickly mention Raw. If you did not watch Raw this past Monday, if you have Hulu and if you haven't watched Raw for some weird reason, go check out the match between Rude and Gable taking on... You're not going to believe who won the Raw Tag Team Championships. I'm just surprised that this even happened this past Monday night on Raw. The new Tag Team Champions on Raw, you're not going to believe who this is if you haven't seen it. The current champions are the Revival. Yes, the Revival this past Monday night on Raw back on February 11th took on Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson are now your new Raw Tag Team Champions. They were, of course, very successful in NXT. They were Tag Team Champions twice in the NXT division. So they're not going to be defending after they just won on Raw this past Monday, unless maybe, I don't know, 3-hour show, you can have Roode and Gable have their rematch or something. I don't know, or maybe just save it till Fastlane. But anyhow, SmackDown. Miz and Shane McMahon taking on the Usos. Now, there is a development in the Usos. Recently, back in Toledo, back on Tuesday, right after SmackDown went off the air, Jimmy and his wife Naomi, who, by the way, if you want to know Naomi's real name, I will pull it up at the moment. I know I had it right here. Guess I can't find it. Here we go. Naomi's real name is Trinity Fatso, who, again, her real-life husband is Jonathan Fatso, who, again, goes by the name of Jimmy Uso in the ring. The Usos are, of course, 5-time tag team champions. Pretty much back in Toledo. Jimmy Uso got arrested for disorderly conduct because they got pulled over for a sobriety check. Naomi complied, however, Jimmy was annoyed at the officer, thus got arrested. However, the good news was, on that front, Jimmy did get released on bond. I don't know if he has to go back to court or something in Ohio, but the match is still on. The match is still on. So again, Miz and Shane McMahon taking on the Usos, and just because of that fact, I was kind of hoping that maybe the Usos would win, and maybe the Miz tells Shane, I want to face Daniel again because Daniel's getting on my nerves, and now Daniel is being a hypocrite again, and they were going to chant, yay, Miz, for once, but, Not going to happen. Unfortunately, I do see The Miz and Shane defending their tag team championships. And I just don't like the tag teams these days. They're just repetitive. They're weak. And they're really getting on my nerves. How they don't care how weak and repetitive the tag team division just gets. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy we have somebody like The Miz and Shane on SmackDown. And we have the Revival, who, again, have been clawing their way just to be the champions. But I don't see how this is going to go. I mean, what if The Miz and Shane don't defend at Fastlane? That's a big issue right there. So that's another discussion for another time. But sorry, Usos, you're not going to be 6-time champions. They are going to be Hall of Famers. But honestly, if the Usos win, then it makes complete sense to pretty much have The Miz actually turn face and tell Shane, I want to have a singles run. I want to go after Daniel Bryan. I want to earn my way to WrestleMania. So that's the way I would book The Miz taking on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Because it's supposed to happen, but I don't know. And that's where we have to go into the chamber matches right now. So just for the heck of it, let's go to the men's elimination chamber match. Because again, with all these changes to the card, it's so hard to keep an eye on. So anyhow, Daniel Bryan, well, he goes by the name the new Daniel Bryan. And yes, he had a new Titantron change again this past Tuesday on SmackDown. And I'm still annoyed how they got rid of the current WWE Championship belt. I had no problem with it because, remember, it was built upon thanks to AJ Styles. And honestly, throwing it in the trash was just disrespectful with that whole cloth thing. I don't like it, not one bit. I'm not happy as a fan. But anyhow, the new Daniel Bryan is going into his second Elimination Chamber match in his career. He successfully defended the World Heavyweight Championship back in 2012, before, of course, losing the belt to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28. But anyhow, this time around we have AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and a replacement for... And I can't believe I have to report this to you all, but I am shocked that this came to the conclusion. I really thought we were actually going to see Mustafa Ali have a real chance at the title, even though he's been on the main roster for, 2 months, right after Daniel Bryan became champion. Mustafa Ali's replacement is none other than future Hall of Famer Kofi Kingston. That's right. We are talking about a man who honestly deserves to go into the Hall of Fame one day in Greenwich, Connecticut. If you want to know his resume, 4-time Intercontinental Champion, 3-time United States Champion, 5-time Tag Team Champion, of course. Well, with the New Day, but career-wise, he was, of course, Tag Team Champion, so Evan Bourne, R-Truth, and even was Tag Team Champion with CM Punk once. So, honestly, I'm going to say this right now. I've been hearing rumors that Kofi could win this match. I would be stoked and thrilled if Kofi Kingston said, you know what? I've had my run with the New Day. We've had a good run. It's time for my singles push. I would love to see that happen, but something's just not right if Daniel Bryan's not going to WrestleMania as the champion. As I've said before, Daniel Bryan did successfully defend the belt in 2012 at that Elimination Chamber event. And that was, of course, the turning point of what led to Sheamus choosing Daniel Bryan after he won the Royal Rumble. But to recap what happened that year, that event took place on February 19th, and today is February 17th. And Daniel Bryan did defend the World Heavyweight Championship against The Big Show, Cody Rhodes, The Great Khali, Santino Marella, and Wade Barrett. In this case, again, look at all those names. Cody Rhodes went to Ring of Honor. Great Khali is nowhere to be found. Santino Marella, nowhere to be found. Wade Barrett, nowhere to be found. And Big Show's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. The point is, again, Daniel Bryan has successfully defended a championship inside an Elimination Chamber. Daniel Bryan lasted almost 40 minutes back in 2012 with no help. There could be a spot where Eric Rowan pretty much helps Daniel Bryan defend the belt. So, interestingly enough, you could have that situation, but I am going to confirm to you all that, once again, that's not going to be your main event. But yeah, Daniel Bryan defense. Your main event's going to be something historic, and that is, of course, the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which hopefully this will mean more crossover brand stories between the Raw and SmackDown Women's Division. So anyhow, this weekend, we have, well, for today, yeah, but this is for this weekend, we have Nia Jackson, Tamina, the Riot Squad, featuring Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, the Iconics, Bayley and Sasha Banks, and Naomi and Carmella. Honestly, these belts were specifically made to be crowned on Bayley and Sasha. They just have too much chemistry together. I would be surprised, honestly, if Bayley and Sasha didn't win. So therefore, your first ever almost said SmackDown, but overall, your first ever Women's Tag Team Champions will be Bayley and Sasha Banks. So with that being all said, that's going to wrap up this pay-per-view prediction video. Once again, our next pay-per-view before WrestleMania will be on March 10th, which will be taking place in Cleveland, Ohio, which will be Fastlane. So I will hopefully have a video for you all on Saturday, March 9th. And believe it or not, I'm looking forward to that weekend because it's my friend's birthday, and we're seeing Captain Marvel that weekend. So, gonna be fun seeing it with him. But anyhow, thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.